The governing JLP has been making the rounds, spreading what they call good news about their record of performance. The opposition PNP, on the other hand, has been tracking activities, scrutinizing every major policy decision while openly criticizing the government.
Essentially, we have a very difficult task ahead of us. But if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be. You know, because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too.
Right, blessed dear, my viewers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. See, we're kind of tone it down today. So basically, this is not going to be a long video. As you guys can see and you guys know, the Jamaican election is right around the corner. So about September, them time there, hopefully, seeing. So whole heap of things are going. In my opinion, based on what I see, you have a brother named him is a poll star. Him named Dan Anderson. Yeah, him recently do a poll, you know, upon, you know, PNP voters, JLP voters, and independent voters. That's why I tell you, you know, if you know watch my video them, based on the politics ones, you can see me always say the independent voters, the voters them where not decide their mind yet, them the one they are gonna be the main factors, because PNP voters will always be PNP voters. JLP voters will always be JLP voters. But the independent voters, nobody no know who them are going to vote for. That's why them independent. Like myself. So, what I want to do, I'm going to play some videos so you can understand exactly where I come from. Seeing? And based on what I see and what I hear, you know, Andrew HOLNESS, he must shoot for him third term as the Prime Minister. And you know, Mark Golden, I try to get in there as the newcomer. Seeing? So it go harder for him convince the people of Jamaica. Say for them administration I got better than the present administration, which is Andrew HOLNESS and the JLP. Seeing? So based on what I see, boy, Andrew HOLNESS confident. He is so confident, he is so polished. Him no fear PNP and Mark Golden. None at all. Him no faced by them. Me I tell you that. Me see it. And in the poll, him in a little bit of trouble because him decline. So percentage wise, PNP have a better percentage for win if the election was today. Seeing? So in the poll, Andrew HOLNESS less. I think a 30 point something percent. Seeing? In the poll, PNP the 35.4. I think. I go post them. So basically what I try to say now, in the poll, PNP a win by a couple percentage, 4-5%. But in the long term, they might ask people, if the election was today, who would you vote for? Majority of the people say PNP, they would have vote for. But them also ask the question, who is the better, which party is better to run the country over the next 5 years? And people are say JLP. So it kind of confusing where people are say if the election was today, they might vote PNP. But if you run the country, JLP better. So more than likely, when we get from that, them like Andrew HOLNESS better. Based on what I see. But in the flip side, same way them still would have rather PNP if you run the country. No. But 5 years from now, JLP them say. So, I'm not going to talk too much, but I'm going to see what I go on. I'm going to read one quotation what I see, which is very, very important. See? So look on your screen right now. So when asked which party would you vote for if election were called today, 35.4% of those polled said the PNP, while 30.7% said the JLP, leaving a gap at 4.7%. See it? 33.9% of responders were uncommitted. So uncommitted meaning they don't know who them a vote for. So that me I tell people. So you see it? 35% said PNP, 30% said JLP, and 33% said uncommitted. So that is the main denominators, the uncommitted. So PNP and Mark Golding, JLP and Andrew HOLNESS, they must go put in the work. I'm going to read something else right now. Look on your screen. When the poll was conducted in September last year, the PNP held a 39.3% lead over the JLP's 30.2%, a gap of 9.1%. When the voters were asked the same question, the uncommitted at the time stood at 30.5%. So when you check the levels now, last year PNP was at 39.3. This year, then the 35.4. That means that them come down a notch. Look on it now. Last year, the PNP, the JLP was at 30.2, and now then the 30.7. So them really no move up or down. Them constant. So PNP drop, but JLP constantly at 30. But the point is, the uncommitted last year was 30.5%, and now then the 33.9. So uncommitted people still go up more. That means PNP lose the voting gap, but JLP get it. And the uncommitted voters decide to them now vote. That's what I telling you from months ago, yo. People need to listen and learn. Whole heap of people get smart and wise. They no business about what you want to say. They not vote if they don't have no reason for vote. So, that's my take on it. We'll come back round and we're going to figure it out. As me say, stay tuned, you don't know a thing go. Big up on yourself. Big Voice Radio in the building. Big up on yourself.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, months before a general election is expected, Jamaicans have rated the performance of the governing JLP and the opposition PNP.
The details came in the latest RGR Gleaner Don Anderson poll.
Andrea Chisholm has the details.
The governing JLP has been making the rounds, spreading what they call good news about their record of performance. The opposition PNP, on the other hand, has been tracking activities, scrutinizing every major policy decision while openly criticizing the government. So between January 29 and February 13, 1,021 registered voters were asked to rate the performance of the governing JLP. 20% said it was very poor and 17% poor. 33% said it was average, 17% good, and 13% very good. Overall, the JLP had a 37% negative rating and a 30% positive rating.
So more persons felt that the performance of the JLP was negative than who said it was positive.
Respondents were also asked to rate the performance of the opposition PNP. 19% said it was very poor and 27% poor. 37% said it was average, 10% good, and 8% very good. Overall, the PNP had a 46% negative rating and an 18% positive rating.
The net difference is 28 points. All right. And that's significant in terms of a differential for one party vis-a-vis the other.
Pollster Don Anderson analyzed the results.
So we had a significant differential in terms of negative vis-a-vis positive as far as the People's National Party is concerned. The government, you have a lot more against which you can measure. People's National Party, as the opposition, there are kind of nebulous targets. And therefore you're rating them on the basis of what they say, perhaps countering what the government has done or has said. So that's the kind of environment in which those two questions were asked.
The RJR Gleaner Don Anderson poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 3%. Andrea Chisholm, TV.
And I'm just touching quickly on those things. I mean, there's a lot. I could speak on every area if I needed to, agriculture and many other things. But essentially, we have a very difficult task ahead of us. Yeah. But if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be. You know, because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too. So it's not an easy road to trod the road that we are treading, comrades. It is not going to be easy to get them out, because you know the news, the things that we put out don't get covered. You know, even today, there's a poll being run right now. It's independent. I think it was paid for by some business people. A Don Anderson poll. The key metric in any poll is voter intention. Who do you intend to vote for? That's the key metric. Today they published it on a Saturday, which is the lowest sales of any newspaper day. When it shows that the PNP is 5% ahead. You know, we were at 9 at the end of September, so we have come off a bit. Yeah. The Labour Party hasn't got any of that. They are where they were. It's the undecided that have grown. In the meantime, they have had their conference, they have had the Spark program, they've had the Reserve Income Tax Credit, which is essentially a $20,000 grant to over 300,000 people. They've just been spending money to try and get themselves back to where they were. And we have been a bit cautious in putting out our ideas because we have found on multiple occasions that they tend to be appropriated by the Labour Party. And then they're so powerful in the media and their communications is so strong, it's very difficult for us to set the narrative to show that we were really the originators of that idea. And so we are trying to time our release so that we don't suffer from that. But in the meantime, we have held our own in the polls, and I think when we start to now reveal what we intend to do for the people, we will see the growth. I'm glad that you mentioned contract work. No, it was Sophia. The contract work issue is a big issue in Jamaica, you know, where a lot of our employees are working for years on short-term contracts with no job security, and the benefits that Michael Manley fought for and introduced are being deprived from them. And of course, wages in the tourism sector was also mentioned, and we had a series of strikes in the last quarter of last year by hotel workers who are not unionized because of those very issues. And you know, we have been advocating for a joint industrial council for the tourism industry, where the workers and the employers and the government sit in a joint meeting and hammer out a basic set of minimum standards of terms of employment, like we have in the construction industry in Jamaica. And the security guards need it too, where there are masses of employees and no representation. And as a result, you get very oppressive conditions prevailing. So these are some of the things that we need to do in the spirit of the liberators in this room. God bless you all. Thank you for having us. And the word is love.
There's a QR code that circulates where you can make a deposit. Right. Yes, we have some QR codes here. Also, guys, just for
Hungry days again.
Jamaica is one of the most famous islands in the Caribbean, known for its reggae music, delicious cuisine, and laid-back culture. The island is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world.